I'd like to show you how to use this simple map calculator in GRASS, the r.mapcalc.simple, to combine these two data sets here. It's good to know this tool in general because you can do lots of things with it. So again, in the GRASS tools under raster, down in the r.mapcalc.simple, and these are listed in alphabetical order, if I double left click on it, it'll give me a way to enter a formula to join these two data sets. So remember, our problem is we have this high resolution data set that was sampled at 3 meters collected in the field, and I want to combine it then with this 3 meter old data set I had that I resampled up from 9 meters or down, depending on how you look at it. So here's this r.mapcalc.simple, boy, tongue twister. And if I double left click, I get the window here for entering my values, and I have the resampled data here, and I have another data set here. This is the old Valley 3, the stuff that we looked at before, that's the higher quality data. We want to combine these two. And notice in this calculator it has this raster layer A and raster layer B. I use these A's and B's in my formula, so I don't have to type out the whole name. If I had to type out the whole name, I'd be prone to making more errors. And so I have a formula here, or a place where I enter the formula. Now we're going to use the if statement, and we've discussed this both in the reading for the textbook that's required before doing this section, and in the lab we have a quick description. We'll do this if statement by typing in an if, and then a condition, and what to do if true and what to do if false. In my case, I'm going to do if, and then I'll use this isNull function. So if the Valley 3 is null, or B is null, I want to use the value. Oops, it helps if I type correctly. And I got an A in typing in high school. If isNull B, I want to use the value that I find in A. Otherwise, I want to use the value in B. Now, in our data set here, I'll turn off the Valley 9 resample and the Valley 9. All this is null. I didn't collect new data here. My new high-resolution LiDAR data is only where there's Valley 3, so these are null values out here. So what I'm going to do is say, okay, look, if I'm going to do this comparison, every place I find B or Valley 3 null, give me the value of A. Otherwise, use the value of B. So where there is something, the new data, I give it a value of B. Now I want to make sure I use the region extent from a layer. In this case, I'm going to use the Valley 9 resamp. And the cell size, I could leave this to the default, which would be 3, because all the values have a cell size of 3, but I'm going to put 3 in there. And then I want to make sure that I save it to a known file, and I'll call this something like combined DEMs. Well, it doesn't really matter. And I'll save that there, and then I'll go ahead and run. Now again, in this run, I got that same error saying something about outputting a value that's of a certain type for a certain type of non-real error in the output, so that red didn't frighten me too much. And here I have my output. Now, it's hard to see if this really worked, because you can't really tell in a DM if those are the old and the new values. So I'm going to test this or look at it visually with my hillshade. So I'll do the hillshade calculation. I'll take the defaults. In this case, the way my system's set up, I'm going to have to save it to a given file, and I'll just call this comhs for the combined hillshade. And I'll go ahead and run that. And now I get the output. And so now I can inspect the output, and I can see here if I zoom in, yeah, I seem to have the high resolution value here for the combined hillshade. And if I look along the edge, I can actually see the seam. Now, if we were going to further use this data, we would fix it. But here's the old data, the old 9 meter data. It's kind of muddier. And then here's the new 3 meter data. I say it is the old 9 meter data. It's resampled to a 3 meter resolution. So this is 9 resampled to 3 out here. And that's combined then. So it worked.